Yo, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Monday podcast for you guys. How's it going? How you guys doing today? Yeah, I thought I would kick this off with just a little bit of talks or whatever. So as I wait for people to come in, first of all, I do want to say that if you guys come in to watch the podcast, you guys enjoy what you guys are listening to, watching. Um, Please feel free smash that like button. That really, really, really helps out. CF, hello, good morning. How's it going? Yeah, bit of Monday, October this month. It has its ups and downs, man. Um, lots of things happening, and some topics that I really want to kind of just kick into. Kathy, good morning, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. We got some topics to talk about, right? So, as the live stream title implies, right, we're going to talk a little bit about the Pixel 5 pricing. There's been some speculations being made, so I kind of wanted to cover that, talk about that a little bit, and we'll go into what's going on with Apple and their lawsuit against a recycling company, a company that they hired and commissioned to basically recycle iPhones. So I don't know if you guys remember Apple's presentation about it, but yeah, we'll get more into that, and then I want to talk about how technology is impacting kids today. Big shout out and good morning to the wife. Good morning, babe. You're as radiant and beautiful as ever, and hopefully you are having a good day at work. So yeah, lots of things happening. First of all, just to kind of share with you guys, me and the wife are currently looking for a house. So we are in the process of moving, and yeah, so things might get a little bit weird in the month of November. Towards the end or whatever, there may be slightly fewer podcasts happening, but I think also that's kind of like a pretty good time to slightly take a break because everybody's going to be having family over for like Thanksgiving and stuff like that. It's important to spend time with family rather than be on YouTube, especially watching me. So little by little, we'll just wait. And it's weird how my podcast works. It always starts off a bit slow. Towards the end of the podcast is when a mass majority decide to come in. So I'm hoping that hopefully notifications go out in time. If you guys would like to help out, you guys could share. Just hit the share it on social, share it on YouTube, and let other people know that I'm live right now. I don't know. YouTube's got to have like a better way of doing it. They should allow the content creator the power to actually notify people. I think that's what they really should do. They should do it that way. So like when I go live, I should be able to click a button that says, share, notify subscribers and let them all come in. Gene, good morning to you, Gene. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. So we're off to a slow start. I'm trying to let things kind of build up. And then I'll jump right into the Pixel 5. So probably like another minute or two, and then I'll start getting into the Pixel 5's pricing. Just kind of go over what people are speculating is the reason why that it's priced at $699. $100 less than when it last year's Pixel 4. And so people are just like a bit questioning on it. I just kind of want to talk about it. I just want to be like, okay, let's get into it because there is some things that people are saying that could possibly be the reason why it's $699. So go figure. Also, if you can do me a solid and smash that like button, I would really, really, really appreciate it. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to do something just to kind of let's see, what do we have here? Yeah, definitely. No, I don't want to launch the site. I want to save this. You guys will see what I'm about to do. I'm gonna have Wayne from Wayne's World help me out with this. Definitely. So I know I'm weird. I'm weird on Mondays. Mondays is just like Mondays is Mondays, right? Like, how are you guys doing on this Monday, by the way? Let's see. Oh man, come on. There's got to be one that's like not that bad. Okay, let me see if this one is not superly huge. Let me open up the download folder real quick. Let's see. Okay, I think that one should be fine. StreamYard only allows you to put animated photos up that are not bigger than size limits are okay. So let me just kind of dip this one out. I think there's a limitation to um how many animated photos you can have. So let's see. Let's see now if it will actually let me use the first one I wanted to use. Fingers crossed. Oh, come on, man. This totally sucks. Okay, maybe this one. Maybe this one. Let's see. Fingers crossed. Does it show? Does it go? Oh, I didn't get the warning that it says it won't upload it because of the file size. So let's see. Okay. Hopefully this works. There we go. I'm gonna have Wayne help me out. I'm gonna have Wayne definitely help me out. All right, let's get back over here to the comments. Let's see what we have here. StreamYard's acting weird because now I see this thing that's gonna really bother me in the comments that I read. It keeps saying upload logo. I don't know why it keeps showing that. I'm gonna the banner real quick. Um. Okay, there we go. Really weird. So let's see. I got a dual screen for my. Whoa! All right, you got the dual screen case for your Velvet. You're so happy. It's so cool. No videos about it though. That I will do. A zillion already out there. A zillion already out there. But you got to remember, a zillion videos out there, but none of them have your perspective. So gotta keep that in mind. But it's up to you if you want to post a quick video to YouTube of your dual screen case for your Velvet. How's it working out? Yeah, that's awesome. It's excellent, Gene. Okay. The lovely wife. All right. All right, so let's go into it already. I think I've given it about a cool little bit of time. So yeah, me and my screen shares. I really love to screen share. And so there we go. We have the three different devices released this year from Google. These are them, the 4A, the 4A 5G, and the 5. Now, it's crazy. Just basically some of the stuff that people are speculating when it comes to the Pixel 5 and its pricing. So here's the thing, right? We see that the Pixel 5 is $699. Well, what you're getting for a lot of people are like kind of questioning the pricing. Like some people are like, it's $50 more than what they would have wanted it to be. Okay. Like we all want it to be a specific price. I guess $649 during the event. Kathy gets $649. Other people were going $699. Some were even speculating $599. That would have been totally cool. We've seen basically Google cave into Verizon when it came to the Pixel 4a 5G. Now you only see 3 devices here. There's actually 4. The Pixel 4a 5G millimeter wave capable is going to cost $599. So a lot of people are speculating that maybe, just maybe, Google was going to price the Pixel 4a 5G at $499 and the Pixel 5 at $599. And because we see where Google and the Pixels are going. They're going budget. They're going basically how to put it. Their market that they're addressing are those people that are solidly looking at pricing and battery life, right? With the Pixel 5, it has a 4080 milliamp hour battery, the biggest battery ever put in a Pixel device. Okay. And $699 price tag. But again, like I said, people are speculating that it would have been $599 if they didn't have to make a millimeter wave capable Pixel 5, which then would increase the price the same way it increases the price on the Pixel 4a 5G, making it go from $499 to $599 for the millimeter wave capable Pixel 5. So this now being tossed around quite a bit. And to be quite honest, it does kind of make sense. I mean, we were all looking at the specifications of the Pixel 5. We were looking at the direction that Google is going. We were thinking, it's going to be $599 or at max $649. And no, it came out at $699. Which, to me, I mean, hey, there's going to be sales. This is what I'm going to tell everybody when it comes to the Pixel 5, the Pixel 4a 5G. Hold off getting it. You don't have to get it right on jump. Eric, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in this morning. Appreciate you for coming in here and hanging out. Baby Yoda in the building. Baby Yoda, may the force be with you, as always. Well, let me take that away. Baby Yoda, the force is strong with you. There we go. But yeah, don't buy the Pixel 5, Pixel 4a 5G when it first launches. Like, people have this mentality when phones come out, and like, I know for content creators, we have this mentality because we want to be able to get the phone in hand. We want to be able to do a lot of like play around with the phone, so we have enough to come back and like basically talk to everybody about what we've experienced with the phone itself. Oh my gosh, I'm running low on egg juice. E-juice, that is. I mean, everyone's like, what the hell is egg juice? It's e-juice for my vape mod. But yeah, everyone talks about that, like they want to be first to it. They want to be first to it. They want to be able to review the phone. They want to be able to get their videos out right away, get the views or whatever. So for content creators, I can see why they're going to want to rush to try to get this on day one release, because the only other people that get it really on day one release is Team Pixel, members of Team Pixel, except for that guy who ended up getting it from Vodafone with no NDA, no embargo. So he made all these videos based on the Pixel 5, and he's still continuing to make videos on it. I think it was Red Rum who found the channel and posted it on the last live stream in the comments. So not in the chat, but in the actual comment of yeah. So anyways, I'll look at that here in a second, and actually I'll look at it right now. Hang on. I'll tell you guys the YouTube channel in case you guys are interested and you guys want to see like how a person's usage has been. So let's see, where was it at? I gotta go through my comments. Totally Dubbed HD is the YouTube channel. So I'll put the YouTuber's name in the chat here for you guys. You guys want to check it out after. But it's Totally Dubbed HD. That is the channel name on YouTube. The guy got the phone from Vodafone, no embargo, no NDA, so he can say and do whatever he wants with the phone, and he's been doing that. So if you guys want to know how the Pixel 5 has been working out, go ahead and check out his channel afterwards, and you guys can see the videos that he's posted up. Now, of course, he's based in the UK, so there are some things that he's going to say that pertain to being in that market versus being in the United States market. There are some differences, but a lot of similarities. So, wow, this morning I'm just way off base. Just so keep that in mind, okay? I will be back soon. I know, love. You got lots of work to do, lots of things on our mind. Yeah, house hunting isn't easy. It's not easy at all. But anyways, so the pricing, $699. Does anyone think or believe that Verizon had a hand in this? That Verizon, because they wanted a millimeter wave specifically, for their network, because Verizon is fully invested in millimeter wave. Do y'all think that theory going around the tech community, that it's true, that is why the Pixel 5 ended up being $699 rather than $599? Because that's a very interesting theory, but it does kind of in a way make sense when it comes to the Pixel 5, especially when you see all like just what's happening, right? Like, this has to be one of the most confusing launches of any Pixel any Pixel launch that has ever been done. This has to be the most confusing one. Confusing because some people aren't clear as to the direction that Google is going with this, and some people are just like, I don't get it. We're getting this, this, and this, and it's costing $100 less than what the Pixel 4 costs. And mind you, we can make excuses for it. We could be like, well, the Pixel 4 launched at $799, and that was for the 64 gigabyte variant. The 128 gig was $899. So technically $200 cheaper than the 128 gig Pixel 4 when it launched. But still, just what we're getting from the Pixel 5, and the way the announcement went, because I went back and I watched it, and I listened to how they said it. Like people can say, like I can say that this bottle of juice costs it cost $7.99, and you can hear the excitement in my voice to talk about the pricing, or I can come on and say, yeah, we care about quality, of our product, and so this bottle right here, launches starting at $9.99, right? You can hear the enthusiasm, and if you rewatch that event, you kind of hear just a bit of confliction when they talk about the pricing. When they mention the pricing, it's like that's not entirely where they wanted to go with it, but that's where they ended up going with it. So it's just kind of weird, kind of a strange thing. Let me go to the chat here and see what's happening. Yeah, CF posted it. CF, you're the one that posted. I think it was, right. I'm sorry if I got the wrong person. Yeah, that's the channel. Yep, Totally Dub HD. That's the channel that has it. Sorry, bad typos. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about the typos. I don't know why people get worried about typos. At least I'm on my chat. I don't really care. I can figure out what you're trying to say. Now, if you're like crushing the keyboard and your comment kind of looks like this, for example, I wouldn't be able to tell what you're saying. But minor typos is totally fine. It's totally okay. Yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Do you guys really think that this theory holds water to that extent? As I get the next article pulled up today, I'm just not organized. I did not have all my articles pretty much pulled up, so that way I can I can talk about it. I mean, the last one is not anything I really need to have anything pulled up, but this one I do. So let's see if I can find. Okay, here we go. And okay, so I'll stop sharing that page real quick. But anyways, guys, yeah, just let me know. And again, if you're just coming in right now, you're just checking out the live stream, the podcast, please take a moment to smash that like button. It really, really, really helps me out. As you guys can see, Wayne up there, he's helping. He's constantly giving me thumbs up. Shout out to Wayne's World. But anyways, yeah. So the next piece we're going to be talking about here, this article comes from Engadget, so I will post a link to my source as we go over the topic of what's actually happening. So let me just kind of grab this, put this in the chat for everybody, so you guys have the links to this article. You guys can follow along yourselves. If you guys are like, watching on a computer, or if you have like a tablet or another device handy on Wi-Fi, you guys can click on that. So anyways, as the title implies, Apple sues recycler for allegedly reselling 100,000 iPhones, iPads, and Apple Watches. Crazy. Absolutely crazy that a company would actually do that. And again, like my source for today is Engadget, so engadget.com. Let me go ahead and full screen this, and we'll go over the article, and then we'll just kind of talk about it. So, as it implies, Apple sues recycler for allegedly reselling 100 iPhones, iPads, and watches. Okay. Just an excerpt from the site itself. Apple has filed a lawsuit against its former contractor, Jeep, or GEEP, Canada, for allegedly reselling over 100,000 iPhones, iPads, and watches that were supposed to be disassembled and recycled. At least 11,766 pounds of Apple devices left Jeep's premises without being destroyed, a fact that Jeep itself confirmed. The complaint reads, according to The Logic via The Verge. The problem was discovered after Apple audited over 500,000 iPhones, watches, and iPads between 2015 and 2017. It discovered that 18% of those devices, which accumulates to 103,845 in total, were still accessing the internet through cellular network. That doesn't count Wi-Fi only devices. Um, so the figure is much likely higher. That's actually crazy. That's actually really, really crazy. Excuse me one moment. Yeah, sorry about that. Dad duties. Hashtag daddy daycare. I have to take care of a few things here. Um, but anyways, so yeah, that is crazy. Also, file claim to get 25 bucks for slowing down. Oh, really? Huh, that's interesting. See if you want to kind of elaborate for that on so everyone kind of understands what's happening. I've heard this before happening though. Them purposely doing that. Or were you talking about the one they did in the past? Um, but anyways, so just a little bit more here. So, yeah, they talked about that it was 103,845 in total. We're still accessing the internet through cellular networks. That doesn't count Wi-Fi devices, so the figure could be much likely higher. So, basically, 103,845 confirmed iPhones and LTE iPads if they have those. I believe they do. But that would count for that. That's not counting the watches. Well, actually, the watches too, because the watches there are LTE compatible Apple Watches, and then there's non-LTE, I believe. So just that's just what connected to the network they were able to catch. Again, there are people who will buy iPhones that can only run on Wi-Fi because maybe they're locked, maybe they're blacklisted, or whatever. People will still buy it. There's still a market for it. I see it all the time on OfferUp. People are like literally trying to sell like an iPhone 10R that cannot be activated. It can only be used on Wi-Fi, and they're selling it for like 300 bucks, and someone will still buy it. So it's absolutely crazy. So, anyways, in total, Apple is seeking 31 million Canadian dollars, which basically converts to 22.7 million US dollars from its former partner. Jeep hasn't denied the theft, but claims that three employees stole the devices to benefit themselves, not the company. Apple countered that the employees were, in fact, Jeep's senior executives. Apple does market refurbished devices, but it won't attempt to sell or allow to be sold any that don't meet its safety or quality standards. Um, Products sent for the recycling are no longer adequate to sell to consumers and could cause serious safety issues. So there lies the problem. And I'm not entirely sure if you guys, if you guys agree here, if you guys don't agree here, just depends. Um, but yeah, this would be a very big issue when it comes to, you know, a company that's been trusted by Apple, that has been given a contract by Apple to receive older iPhones, Apple Watches, and iPads, and all they have to do is run I guess the machines that they have to dismantle the phones, right? So take apart the screws. You guys remember that Apple event where Apple was talking about how they recycle their phones, and they showed this machine that disassembled an iPhone, and it neatly placed like the screws inside this bin that's all screws, the screens inside this a bin that's like all screens, and then yeah, you guys seen that. That's absolutely crazy. Let's see. Chat here. Yes, I received the paper in the mail. Apple agreed to pay 500 million to people that were affected by it, and Apple was fined 27 million too. So I guess when they sued this company, Jeep, they'll recoup their costs for their fine, because their lawsuit against Jeep or GEEP, basically that's going to be 27 million US dollars, 31 million Canadian dollars. That's crazy. Let's see. It's crazy that a company like Apple admitted to slow down their phones so people would upgrade. Yeah, I think that was that was a very bad move for Apple. But again, like I said, Apple always gets a pass. I don't care what any other Apple fanboy would say. Apple gets a pass. It always does. Doesn't matter. Like, it could do something like that. Like, that's bad. You know what I mean? Now, just imagine this, and this is a side note off the subject, but just imagine if Google purposely slowed down the Pixel 4 to force people to buy the Pixel 5, right? Oh my God, it would hit the fan. Like, the hit to shit ratio would just be skyrocketing. It would be because people don't give Google a pass. But Apple does, because Apple doing something like this, purposely slowing down phones, claiming that it's because the battery degradation, um, you know, wouldn't be able to support like the new iOS software, so they had to slow it down. They made all kinds of excuses, and still ended up being fined, and ended up having to pay a fine and pay out restitution for damages to consumers who were infected. And so because of that, you would think that Apple would really have lost its credibility, um, integrity gone, trust gone, right? Which a lot of people will say, like, first of all, you shouldn't even be trusting these companies in the first place. You really shouldn't. But there lies the problem. I mean, Apple still recognized, people still love Apple, people still want Apple. I'm not saying that Apple should have shut down and lost all its consumers, right? But the accountability needs to be there. Apple needs to be accountable. They need to be held accountable for things like this. And it's sad. It was news for like a couple of months. People made jokes about it for a couple of months, and then it just completely went away. And so that's what's sad. Like I said, if Google did that with their Pixel devices, the hit to shit ratio would have been high. People would have just like definitely totally trashed and probably even destroyed the Pixels. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Apple always gets a pass. They always get a pass. And this one, going back to the lawsuit here, this makes sense for what Apple is saying. You know what I mean? Like, they do sell refurbished iPhones. They sell refurbished iPhone 10s, iPhone 10s's. And the fact of the matter is that, like they said, when there's certain phones that don't pass their standards, they send them off to get recycled. Jeep, you had one job. Well, I like to use that meme. You had one job. And they failed at that. That's true. They always get the pass. Yep, they always get the pass. Apple always get the pass, no matter what. I mean, they could totally rob people and say that to use iOS, you have to pay a monthly reoccurring fee of $50. And at first, people would be pissed. Months later, people will then have a reason to say why you should be paying $50 to use iOS monthly on top of your service provider like this. Hypothetically speaking, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. No one please take that as like fact and go around and say, hey, Apple's going to charge $50 to use iOS. Like, no. They're not. I'm just saying that hypothetically speaking. But Jeep, yeah, big time in trouble. I'm surprised. I mean, we'll see how this pans out with Jeep, but there's a lot of things here happening that I'm just like, why would a company do that? I mean, like, I get it. The CEO of the company or the president of the company is saying that, 3 of his employees did it. The company had no idea that they did it. So hold them accountable, not us accountable, but they're your employees at the end of the day. You are the president of the company. It is your job to know what everybody that is on your team is doing, right? Some will say like, oh, well, he's, those are employees beneath him. Doesn't matter how you look at it. If it's like a pyramid scheme, or if it's just like down the line, whatever, I don't care. Like, if I was the president of that company, I got to know what all my employees are doing, right? Because shit rolls downhill. And technically the way that the business goes, I'm the president of the company. I catch all of it when, things go bad, right? Just like, if the company's not performing well and I throw a fit about it, my management team gets the brunt of it. So then they pass it on to the people that manage the departments for them. And then those people catch. And so the ball of crap is bigger. And then that filters to the employees. The employees catch the biggest ball of crap coming from upper management down. But the roles reverse when it's a company that's doing illegal stuff or whatever, right? You got the group of people that's doing it. But the ball of crap starts with them and starts rolling downhill. So it makes its way all the way to the president of the company, who is held liable for what every employee is doing. And I think that's what he's overlooking, because he's trying to save his own butt. So some speculate that he knew and he was a silent partner, like it was a black ops thing, right? Like, he told those people, like those 3 guys probably came to him. And I'm speculating. I'm not saying that this is what happened. So don't take this as gospel. I'm just saying. But those three guys that he's throwing under the bus probably came to him and said, hey, We can make some side money selling some of these iPhones that are supposed to be recycled and torn apart. And that president was like, okay, here's the deal. You guys do it. I'm not aware of it. I'm not aware of it, but you guys are going to break me off 40% of everything. And it's black ops. If you get caught, it's on you guys. And they're probably like, they were so greedy about the money. They're probably like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And so now they got caught. They got caught. Apple wants to know what's going on. Apple did an audit at their plant, found out there was about over 100,000 of these devices that should have been dismantled, circulating and connected to LTE networks. And they shouldn't be. They should not be. They are dangerous. Are how dangerous are they, Tito? Like, I mean, they're still functional. They're activated. Yes, they could have battery issues. Which, of course, someone's going to be like, well, you know what? I mean, they could have battery issues, but they can go to like a third party, um, you know, repair shop who does battery replacements and will replace the battery for them. You're right. There are certain things that when Apple says that, they don't pass their standards to be considered for refurbishment and resell, there's a reason to that. You guys remember the infamous iPhones that, people put on chargers and they just started to like overheat, swell up and catch fire? Right? These are probably some of the devices that probably Apple looked at and said, okay, yeah, this one might explode on somebody. No refurbishment, sent to recycle. And Jeep, all you had to do was recycle it. I mean, you were making money from Apple. Apple was paying you. You were contracted to Apple to dismantle all these phones. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just it's weird. It's weird these days. It's like, are people really that strung out for money? Like, has times really, really, really screwed the pooch for 2020? Like, you had a job, you ran a business, and the three guys that were, being thrown under the bus for doing this, for running this ring of illegally selling, iPhones that should have been recycled. Those guys weren't like floor factory workers. I can see it if it was a floor factory worker and they just went, yeah, let's sell some of these, pocket a couple of them from the dismantling line, and put it in their locker, and then met up after work and started selling these things to like various different pawn shops or whatever. I can understand, if it's a floor level employee, but three executives in the company ran this ring. Like, come on, man. You guys can't be hurting that bad for money. You just can't. You know what I mean? Unless they're three executives that's living in my lifestyle. And yeah, I can see, because it's not easy. But they're not. They're not struggling like me. They're not fighting against this uphill battle. So I don't see where they had this reason to even do it in the first place, much less put a lot of people in danger, ultimately putting Apple in danger, because you know what's going to happen when one of these recycled devices screws the pooch and kind of like, hurts a consumer, right? The consumer is not going to sue the pawn shop they bought it from. They're not going to sue, wherever how this ring and how it worked, like where they got the phone from. They're going to sue Apple. And then Apple's going to do some investigation. And Apple's going to realize, hey, the serial number for this device was set to be recycled back in 2020. Yet it's still circulated in the market. How'd that happen? And eventually Jeep would have been caught. So no matter way, Jeep would have been caught. I don't understand what they were thinking. You know what I mean? If they were taking these devices and having like a third party person refurbish the device, so that way it kind of passed an inspection that would say, okay, you know what, this will most likely not hurt anybody, then yeah, okay, they were almost got away with murder there. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Jeep doing this? And does that kind of like show where in the business world where things are going, there's no longer trust amongst businesses to that extent? When you contract and you agree to pay X amount of dollars per year for this company to dismantle your product and make sure that it is taken apart, and separated, organized, and sent off to be recycled. What do you guys think? I am going to take a drink of my green tea, though. I really need it. Oh man. Today is a day. Today is Monday. Whew, man. It feels so slow, but I'll take it as it is. Remember the iPhones that bent? Yes, I do. I remember them. That was the iPhone 6. Bengate was the iPhone 6. There was an iPhone 6 Plus was the one that like a lot of people experienced the whole bending on. Those bent iPhones were not made good. Well, I mean, they were kind of made good. The problem was that the integrity of the body itself had a weak point, which was right around. I think it was um where the hold on, let me grab my iPhone 6 Plus here. Where are you? Come here. Come here. I think it was really where like the volume rocker was. I really should use this device now. um Probably a lot better than using my iPhone 7. But oh well. It is what it is. Um yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy. You can't trust businesses out there. You can't trust them at all to just to do what you ask them to do. So who knows? I think the president of the company is a weakling. I really do. You know what? I really do. I really stress that when it comes of all this that's happening with the lawsuit, which I'll follow closely to see what the end game result is. The president of that company, Jeep, is a weakling. He's weak. I'm sorry to say it, he's weak, but when you are a president or CEO of a company, whether or not you are involved in the illegal activities of the company, you are responsible for everybody, for every employee that's in the company. You are. Doesn't matter. He's pleading so bad because he doesn't want Jeep to actually have to face that $27 million lawsuit. He wants Apple to go after the three guys that did it. But Apple ain't dumb. If you sue the three guys that did it, they're not going to be able to fork over $27 million in damages and restitution. They're not going to be able to, right? They may have made like 2 or 3 million, and they had to split that three ways. Come on now, they're not going to have the money to do that. Let's see. Has he released those employees? That's what I want to know. Let me look through this article a little bit more, because kind of see. Yeah, no, talk. Okay, so the rest of this article talks about the right to repair groups criticize Apple's policies towards third-party repair shops. So I guess this kind of like falls into them. It doesn't say anything else, so it does not say that these these three executives were released from the company. It doesn't say that at all. So because it hasn't said that, obviously it means that they're still working for the company. I don't entirely know. Anyways, to kind of end off this podcast, I wanted to talk about something pretty serious, and I'm actually going to do a live panel of people that I select and choose to be on this special podcast coming up this week, and that's talking about how mobile technology has affected the human race. But today I want to talk about how it has affected kids. Because it's absolutely bad. I'm gonna say that, and you guys know that like I have a deep thing about talking about mobile technology, yet I mean, yeah, it is absolutely crazy. It is crazy. So yeah, I read an article that talked about the top 9 negative impacts of technology on society. I'm gonna revert back to this with that podcast. However, I really, really, really want to talk about this because this is something that needs to be said. Not a lot of people are saying it. A lot of people are okay with it, but I say this: do not let mobile technology become your babysitter. Like, seriously, do not let mobile technology become your babysitter. This is a problem that I see a lot of today. I can go into a Walmart. I can see a mother shopping with her kid. Her kid is probably 3 years old. And just so that she can focus on buying the items that she has made out on a shopping list, and she's constantly staring at her iPhone, just looking at the list. Like, come on. Don't put a tablet in your child's hand to have them quiet down. You know, I have neighbors upstairs, okay? I hear it all the time. They want to go outside to the park. They're given a phone or a tablet to shut them up and just have them completely focus on playing games. It's absolutely bad. I know this firsthand because I've let my youngest son, I've let him have a phone to, you know, play Roblox with his sisters and his brothers when they decide to play Roblox. Now, video games is heavily addicting. I know, because when I was young, I would skip doing my homework to play the Sega Genesis that my dad bought. We had a Sega Genesis. We didn't have a Nintendo until later on. But that has a very, very negative effect. And like some people will look at the pros and cons of it, right? So, you know, like some people will say, like, you know, whoa, having my kid go on the tablet and playing these ABCs games has helped him learn ABCs. And it's like, yeah. So, you know, there are some benefits to it. This is what I gotta say to counteract that type of crap. So you're gonna put a tablet in your child's hand, have him play a game about ABCs, and you know, a while, depending on his development growth, some grow fast, some grow slow, but they were able to learn their ABCs. So are you gonna take pride in saying that, yeah, you know, my child made it through kindergarten because an app taught him his ABCs and one, two, threes? Like, do you as a parent not have any self pride to say and be proud to say that I taught my child their ABCs. I taught them their one, two, threes. Like, you passing on knowledge to your kid. That's a bonding time between parents. That is a bonding time. So for anyone to just say, I'm going to stick a tablet in my kid's hand, or I'm going to stick a phone in my kid's hands to just quiet them down, like, that is a wrong way of thinking. Okay. Should kids be introduced to technology? Yes, they should, because the future is going to be all about technology. Technology is going to be it. So I don't want them completely oblivious to technology and how to use it. But I hate the fact that people use technology to completely raise their children, and that is absolutely wrong. And Wayne agrees with me. That's why he's giving me the double thumbs up. And by the way, if you're just joining in right now, I swear this really helps me out. Smash that like button, okay? Smash the like button. That's all I ask for. Please smash that like button if you guys enjoy it, because that helps circulate the videos, the podcast. People will find it. More people will watch. More people will get the information that I'm sharing. It really does help me out. So please, please, if you're coming in, don't forget to smash that like button. Wayne is showing you guys how to do it. But anyways, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Please share your thoughts. Do not be shy about it. Nobody is going to rip you one on your beliefs. My mods are in here. If anyone gets out of hand, they know what to do. Hashtag demon if you're a mod. And yeah, they will go and possess and eject them out of there. So don't worry about it. You guys can say what you guys want to say. Just keep in mind to other people. So, but yeah, please share your thoughts as I'm talking about this, because this is something that, you know, I guess I play devil's advocate on. So I talk about the greatness of what technology can do, and I can see the future of what mobile technology and technology in itself can do. I see it. I follow it. I read about it all the time. I just don't like that it's put in children's hands and says, here, this is your babysitter. I live in Phoenix, the sixth largest city in the United States of America, according to Google when I searched it. As a matter of fact, let's find out. Hey, Google, what is the sixth largest city in the United States of America?
I found 10 on Wikipedia. Here are the first 5. New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, and Phoenix. Want me to tell you more?
No.
Okay, I'm here if you need me.
Thank you. So I guess it's now the 5th largest city, because it said the top 5 largest cities from Wikipedia. Phoenix is number 5. But anyways, I live in one of the largest cities in the United States of America currently right now. everywhere I go, every day I see technology in the kids' hands. And part of me is like, wow, that kid is learning how to navigate, a touch based operating system and be able to, problem solve and do all these things that is part of a child's, development. But I'm looking at it and then I'm seeing their parents busy texting, busy on Facebook, busy on Snapchat, and I'm like, so the child's new parent now is this thing, and you are just an acting parent, like a physical body parent to walk into, like, you know, parent teacher conferences, and stuff like that. But what's really raising your kid is that phone that he has in his hand or the tablet. Um, that crap really pisses me off. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing it from perspective. Maybe somebody has a different perspective. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a parent. I have 5 kids total. I love all my kids. I love them all. I love being around them. I love seeing what they do. I love listening to them talk, whatever they're talking about. They could be babbling on about something that I have no clue what they're talking about, but I love to hear them speak. I love to read stories to my kids. My son loves story time with me. My youngest daughter loves learning her times tables from me. Every day it's always like, Dad, can we work on our times tables? Like, yes, we can. I will help you get your times tables down. Sure, her class is already working on it in school. And I don't know, they were doing twos and fives. I think they were doing threes the other day and tens. I'm going to have her know her times tables. I'm going to get her pretty much caught up to 12s. That way she's a little bit ahead of her class. And then that way she can reset back into her class and kind of go. Because, like, her school unenrolled her for a stupid reason. They unenrolled her. They didn't unenroll her sister, and like, I'll share that story here towards the end. But it was so stupid. But anyways, let's see. Let's go to the chat here. CF says, I have a nephew that's 12 years old, and he literally plays with his iPad 24/7. It's crazy. Like, he can't be without it. He starts screaming. That is crazy, dude. I know what you mean. I see that. And that's one of the other biggest things. I'm glad you kind of commented that, CF, because it kind of helps me kind of move this on into the next thing I was going to talk about regarding the subject, and that's physical health, right? So we can go ahead and make an argument. Some people that like fully vouch for this can make an argument and say, well, you know what, it helps advance kids faster with their development. It helps them, learn things. It helps them gravitate and grab things much, 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 much more faster. But I'm like, okay, so how the hell does this help your kid maintain a fit, healthy life? One of the problems we have here in Phoenix, Arizona, people are going to hate me for this, but this is absolutely true. I feel like that this city has a lot of obese children, a lot of children with obesity. I mean, I'm sorry, this will probably come off offensive, but this is the best way I can describe it. It almost seems like that just about almost a lot of children here in Phoenix, Arizona, and the surrounding cities. So I'm not just pinpointing Phoenix. I'm talking about Scottsdale, Tempe, Mesa, Glendale, Peoria, Ahwatukee, Avondale. I'm talking about them all, Chandler, and so on. I'm talking about them all. It's like Willy Wonka came here and tested out his amazing 3-course gum, and these children chewed on it because they're walking blueberries. Like, I seen a kid and I felt bad for him because, he was excited. He found a toy that he wanted at Walmart. His mom was down the aisle, and he tries to run to his mom, but he can barely run. He can barely run, and he's freaking winded halfway down the aisle, and he stops to walk. Okay. Kid was probably like 6 years old. All right. One of the most adorable blueberries I've ever seen, little kid. Has no neck. Runs to his mom, you know what I mean? And he wants this toy. And the toy is of a tablet. And he's already got a tablet, you know what I mean? So like, kids are looking like at this and they're like, okay, I got a smartphone. My mommy gave me her old iPhone because she upgraded. So now I want a toy phone from the toy store instead of buying something like, Pokemon toys, Super Mario toys, Transformers, and Batman. You know what the most sold toy is here in Phoenix and surrounding cities? You know what the most sold toy is here in the Walmarts? It's not the Spider-Mans, the Batmans, the Star Wars action figures. No, you can find plenty of those on shelves. What runs out pretty quickly is stuff like Baldi, based on like a game that these kids find on an app store or Play Store. A game called Baldi, Minecraft, um, the Five Nights at Freddy. Like those toys sell because kids identify with those because they play the games on these smartphones that parents hand to their kids to have them occupy their time. It's madness. It's complete madness. Um, Gene says my niece and nephew can't stay off their iPhones. They get nasty if they don't have their phones. Yes, my son was going through that phase too. I let him have a phone so he can play Roblox, and he wants to download every game that there is. And then when I lock his phone, because I lock everybody's phones when I think they've had enough time on it, he gets the most vocal about it. He's 5 years old. He gets the most vocal to throw a tantrum, and he likes to do the pity me stories. He'll come to me, like he'll go to his room, he'll scream, he'll throw a tantrum, he'll come back to me like 5 minutes later, and he'll just come with a sad face. He'll be like, "You don't love me, Daddy," and then I'll be like, "I do love you," and then he'll be like, "No," and he runs away. 10 minutes later, he comes back. He'll be like, "I don't love you no more, Daddy." I said, "That's fine. I still love you." You know what I mean? I don't take anything he says personally. And he'll run away and throw a tantrum, and like he goes through that, and it's like, and to me, I looked at that and I'm like, he's an addict. He's an addict to mobile technology at this point. You know, they should just be given consoles. I think a lot of this technology really has to be limited, just DSs and PSPs. But that won't change the fact that they're not getting out and getting some physical, some physical fitness. You know what I mean? Like I was just talking about it. By the way, Kazi, thanks for popping in, man. When I was talking about it, there are kids today in my city that look like walking blueberries. And I'm not saying it to be nasty or mean. I'm just describing the fact. I told the story of a 6-year-old kid that got winded running halfway down the aisle of the Walmart toy section. 6-year-old kid, very small. A year older than my son. You know what I mean? Yesterday, I took my kids to the park. My wife had the idea. She was like, just thinking to herself, like, I want to get these kids out of the house, because our state's open back up. So we went to Walmart, and that's where I saw this happen. The reason we were at Walmart was because we were buying a Frisbee. We bought like 2 bouncy balls, a kickball, and a soccer ball. And we went out to a park, to an open field, and we threw the Frisbee. We had a lot of fun. My kids were like having so much fun because, they were getting out, they were getting some exercise, and they were loving it. They were playing kickball. We were kicking the soccer ball, around. We were throwing the Frisbee. My wife's back in here, so I can say it now. I totally kick ass at throwing a Frisbee. And it was funny because she was giving me crap in the car about, that she was the almighty when it came to throwing a Frisbee and playing Frisbee. So we went out to the park, and a couple of times it looked like the Frisbee was going to slice me as it came down, but we had a lot of fun. That was the main thing. We had a lot of fun. We got out, we ran. It was fun for me, because you guys know me. I go to the gym because I'm diabetic. Going to the park and running with my kids and playing, getting out there and getting fit. So we played soccer, did all kinds of things. It was fun. My wife, shut up. I love you, babe. My wife, because my 5-year-old, he doesn't grasp the concept that, you got to go for it. You know what I mean? Like I keep trying to teach him, like, don't stop and cry just because you didn't get to kick the ball. Like race your sister to it when you're close to it, beat her to it, kick the ball, get your kicks in. He's going to get there. As long as I keep being on top of him, he's going to get there. But, after a while, he kind of went off on his own. So my wife went and got the other ball that we had. And her and my son were playing one-on-one. They were playing catch with the big ball, just throwing it back and forth and having laughs. But this is where I had that moment of clarity that hit me in the head again. Because I talked about this before. And then I thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute. Like my kids, they're not in that phase of being obese or borderline obese at all. You know what I mean? And thankfully, because they've been trapped in this house ever since, this state went to shut down. We never let them out. So they maintained, to being fit. Obviously, them running around in the house, playing tag, playing hide and go seek in the house and that type of stuff, that really kind of helped out. And I realized that a lot of parents don't do that with their kids. because they have this become their babysitter and also become their surrogate parent. That's not how it should be. Parents out there who happen to come across this and see this, or if this is ever recommended, if someone sees this and says, hey, my friend needs to see this, look, I don't care if the person gets mad at me. I'm going to say it. All right. Stop being a lazy parent. Okay. You have a responsibility to the children that you have. If you feel like that you can't do what you want to do because you have children, you should have never went and got into that predicament. You should have used contraceptives if you did not want to have a child. But I can tell you right now, as being a parent, me being a parent, I can find the times that I need to do the things that I do. I podcast, okay? The AdSense revenue I make helps out the family, goes to my kids. I said this. When people post super chats, I tell them all the time, it's going to my kids because it goes to my kids. My kids are the beneficiaries of everything I do here. And that's why I do these podcasts, is for them. I also, for a personal thing, I do it for fun, for me, because I get to talk about these types of things. And I have people that I know that are listening. And that's why I love doing this. How do I find the time to do this? First of all, my kids know what I do. I talk to my kids straight up. There are certain things I won't talk about. The birds and the bee, I won't talk about just yet. I am going to have that conversation with my oldest daughter here soon because she's developing. I hate it. I think it sucks. I think life is cruel. My daughter should stay my daughter and stay my baby, but that's not going to happen. She's going to keep growing and developing, and guys are going to be like staring, because I caught a guy staring at her at Walmart, and I wanted to shave his curly hair and then glue it into a ball and stick it straight up where the sun don't shine. But anyways, yeah. Tito, you have thoughts of doing a podcast while exercising? I don't know if that'll be interesting, but you know what? I'll keep that in mind. Tech Loving Mama, how's it going? Thanks for popping in here, man. I really appreciate you for coming in. But anyhow, I still find the time to do what I need to do. It was a boy. Come on. I don't care. He looked at my daughter. And he kept staring at her, and his dad left him. But the reason the dad left him is because the boy wasn't paying attention to his dad, who had moved on to a next section at Walmart. The little boy was staring at my daughter, and that's a hell no. You know what? If we bought the Nerf guns, I would have hunted that kid out in the store after I paid for it, and I would have shot him with every Nerf bullet that I could just unload on him. And that would have been it. But I still find the time to podcast. I still find the time to do this. And it's just balancing your life. You just have to balance your life, but always make time for your kids. This can never be a parent to a child. This cannot be. This cannot even be a babysitter to your child. It can't. No matter how much, it can't. I'm gonna straight out say this. Mods, please get that out of here, because I don't want that on here. So mods, go. Possess, stress, and eject, please. But I'll say this to that degree. It can't be a replacement to a parent. It will never love your child the way you can. It will never teach your child family values the way you can. If you would only just look back and say to yourself, what's most important to you in life? What is the most important thing to you in life? It should be your children. When you have kids, you're done. You're and not done in a bad way, but your dreams are done. Your purpose now, having that child, is to raise it, to teach it, to love it, to guide it, to instill family values, to allow the child to grow, develop, and become a great young person that can go off into the world and chase dreams and probably get further than what you could get and achieve more than what you achieved. And that should be a great moment. Always should be a great moment. It should be something satisfying. I want my kids to do way better than me. If my kids made it to where they became like self-made millionaires, totally awesome. And it'd be awesome not because, I'd be that type of parent that says, okay, great kids, you're a millionaire, now take care of me. No, I don't want my kids to take care of me. I want to see them do good and become successful and make it to where, if they become self-made millionaires, then the future generations, their children, which is my grandchildren, they would live comfortably. And then it would go on and it would go on and it would go on, generation after generation after generation. And me in my generation would be the last that ever lived in such a struggling way in life. I would want that for my kids. You know, we as parents have dreams, but sometimes we give up our dreams so our kids could have a dream. It's the way it goes. This thing is not going to give that to your kids. This thing is not going to love them. This thing is not going to instill family values in them. This thing is not going to protect them. Do you think if someone broke into the house, try to abduct your child, the iPhone's going to stand in front of the way and say, "Don't take my baby from me," and go and fight that person life or death? No, that iPhone's going to lay on the floor. If the kid doesn't know how to quickly activate Siri to call 911, he's done for. And today, children are going missing a lot more than what they have in years. With the things that I've shared on this channel, what my sister has talked about, those types of things. That's the type of things that, that's like happening nowadays. And just to simply put it, kids today, if they're not given human interaction, if they're not given human love, how would they learn how to do this? How would they know how to love somebody? You can't love somebody else if you don't know how to love yourself, and you don't learn how to love unless you're shown love from your parent, from your brother and sisters. So you determine the different type of love that there is. There's love for a brother, for a sister, that's a sibling love. There's love between sisters, there's love between brothers, and then there's a love of a father to the child and a love from the mother to the child. It's different in different ways. My kids find goofiness, happiness, and security with me. They find security, love, some discipline from their mom. I mean, I discipline too. I'm pretty strict. I'm more strict than their mom is. But they feel the different type of love that they get from their mom and what they get from me. They feel it. They understand it. They learn it. And they'll be able to pass it on to their kids. Because if we're letting technology raise our kids today, they're going to let their kids be raised by technology. And eventually, it's going to be like the Jetsons, where the dad goes to work, the mom goes and shops, the kids go to school, and they got a robot that handles the day-to-day chores. And when the kids come home, the robot takes care of them. The robot nurses them. The robot feeds them. And so what? So what was George Jetson and Jane? What were they good for? When you look at the Jetsons cartoon, what the hell were they good for? Absolutely nothing. George Jetson was always a doormat for Mr. Spacely. Tito, you have great parents in my view. I appreciate that. Yeah, it has to stop. This cycle has to stop. The last thing to state on this subject is that if you allow technology to raise your kids, right, they will not know, even though they say there's some development coming from this technology, the child is growing and learning fast. But the one thing they're not going to learn is they're not going to learn to read human body language, to be able to interact and learn the difference between a good person and a bad person, a person that they mix with, a person that they don't mix with. They won't understand it. Human interactions has to be done by humans. Okay, Zoom meetings and Google Meets and Google Duo and FaceTime, that's not human interaction. That is a shortcut for a short-term solve. That is not for long-term. Okay, you look at the teenagers today. Yeah. Okay. You look at teenagers today, right? How do they date? They don't ever go and sit at the table and say, okay, you know what, like, this is it. I'm just gonna go up to her. I'm gonna find the right time. I'm gonna go up to her. I'm gonna tell her how I feel, and I'm gonna ask her out on a date. and they get the butterflies, right? They get the nervousness, right? They get the bubble guts too, where they feel like they got to run to the bathroom. They're so nervous. Their hands are clammy and sweaty. Um, they're they're trying to maintain a cool and calm, collected posture, but they're now worried about if they're growing a zit on their forehead because they're stressing out. Their heart is beating faster than anything. Their knees are weakening, and they walk up to that girl that they're attracted to tell her how they feel and ask her on a date. And sometimes it ends in the glorious moment where she says, like, yeah, I would love to go to the movies with you. Because then you find out that she actually had her eye on you and she thinks you're cute and likes you too. Or it can go the other way where she's like, no, I'm not, I'm not into you. And you get rejected, which is fine. These young men got to learn, and these young women got to learn how to take rejection. Okay. They got to learn where no comes in at a different pace. Um, they've got to, but they don't, because they do everything online now through Snapchat. I know that boys ask out girls on Snapchat. Why? Because the message only lasts 24 hours. And if the girl doesn't screenshot it or anything like that, that message deletes forever. The boy can deny that he ever asked her out and she ever said no to him. Everything's done online. And it's like, so they won't learn these things. They won't learn rejection, because rejection builds confidence in men, in, well, young boys that become men. It does. Once they get into the groove of hearing the word no, it no longer becomes this big upsetting no. Now they go around, and when they ask a girl, just be like, it won't be like, hey, I really like you, and just hoping you would go to the movies with me this Saturday. Now it'll change from that to like, yo, baby, you look good, man. You and I should go to the movies this weekend. It then becomes confident and not forceful, but stern and direct. And if she says no, then it's like, all right, baby, whatever, man. You change your mind, let me know. And they walk away. They won't go in the corner and cry. Oh my gosh, she said no. They won't do that, because they need to learn rejection. They need to learn that stuff. Let's go here real quick. Agree, Tito. That's why online schooling doesn't work. Exactly. That's why it doesn't work. Kids are in their home. Their home is their safe haven, and their place for them to be them. They're not going to be thinking of school. Online schooling is worse for teachers. They have way more work to handle. Exactly, they do. Ask Sneed. Sneed's a teacher. Sneed's facing this problem. Yes. We try to be. Yeah, I know, babe. We try. We try our best. We won't say that we're perfect parents, because there's no such thing as a perfect parent. There's always room for growth, and we try to be the best that we can be for our kids. I have social anxiety, and trust me, we're headed to a high rate right now. Yeah. Kids need a social life. They do. They need a social life. They need to go outside and play. They need to learn how to make friends. They need to learn what it's like to be rejected from friends. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of things that are like, very, very disheartening, right? Like, my fear is that when my youngest son goes to kindergarten, because I teach him to just be who he is and not be anything that he's not, I'm afraid that other kids aren't going to like him. That, he's going to be that kid that's a loner on the playground playing by himself because nobody thinks he's cool enough to play with. That's my fear. And I think a lot of parents have that fear for their kids. But I know that's not going to be, and I can't coddle him and protect him from that. Like, in the late 90s and the early 2000s, we have built this mentality that we have to protect our kids from every little thing. We were combating online bullying and bullying at schools, and now everything is bullying. Oh, this group of kids don't think that this boy is cool enough to play with them, so they leave him out and they play at the basketball court and they won't let him play with them. And parents want to go to school and say that they're bullying my kids. They're not bullying your kids. He's just not accepted into their social group, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't belong to any social group. He could find another social group. You have to let him experience rejection for him to know, how to move beyond that and continue to move forward in life. If we put a ramp over every wall that our children are about to face, they will never learn how to climb a wall. And if they don't learn how to climb a wall, when we are dead and we pass on, every wall that they face in life coming forward, they're just going to hit it dead on every freaking time, because they don't know how to climb it, because all we did was help them walk over the wall. Like, you can't do that. Sometimes you got to let your kids hit that wall and figure out for themselves how to climb it. It's called social development skills. Parents need to stop relying on electronics to raise their kids. They cannot allow social interaction to be based on a Facebook profile page and Facebook Messenger video calling. Your kids need exercise. We got blueberries in Arizona walking around all over the place. Parents just don't want to deal with their child and the tantrum that they throw because they allowed a video game and technology to take over their child's life. So when the kid wants a giant bag of hot Cheetos and a 2 liter of Coke all to himself, they will buy that for a 7-year-old to drink that in one sitting. Your child should not drink a 2 liter all by himself. When I was young, my dad bought a 24 case of bottled Coke. It was a mixture of Coke, Sprite, and orange soda. I couldn't just go and pop open a bottle of soda. I was allowed one soda a day, and that was at dinner time. If my dad came home and dinner was made, my dad was always the one that would grab the sodas and brought it to the dinner table. If the case of bottled sodas was missing one, because my dad knew how many there was every time, there was just me, him, and my sister, 3 of us, he could basically do the math. He'd figure out someone drank a soda. And whoever drank that soda didn't get a soda at dinner, but also got whooped with the belt. Some people will say, that's child abuse. No. It taught me not to go and steal a soda. I didn't steal soda again. My dad never whooped me with the belt for no reason. He whooped me with the belt for a reason. And I know what that reason was after, when he literally would talk to me about what I did wrong. That was my dad's thing. If he did have to bring out the belt and spank with the belt, he spanked with the belt. He'd let me go to my room and cry because I was crying because of the whooping I got. 5 minutes later, he would call me out of my room and he'd have me sit on the couch. Then he would explain to me why I got in trouble and why I got spanked. That's the thing. If you're going to discipline your kids, you got to tell them why. You can't just spank their hand or spank their butt. Or like how some people that I see out here that pisses me off, they go and they hit their kid in the head. Like, don't do that. You know? The future of humans will be one with technology. We will become robots. And that's the thing that I think that parents got to realize what they're doing. They're turning their kids into that. They're leading them down that path. They're not learning any social life. They're not having any social skills. They're not learning how to deal with it. Life ain't fair. Life isn't fair. And I guess this is why, like, I don't stand with a lot of the things of, like, when people are like, well, we want free housing, we want, free education, this and that. Life ain't fair. That's why I don't support that. If things are free, it's taken advantage of, and people just, oh well, I don't gotta work hard for my house because it's free. I don't gotta work hard in school because it's free. I came here because I felt like coming here, but now I don't feel like being here anymore, and I don't gotta worry about paying for it and wasting a professor's time. Like, come on. But anyways, guys and gals, thanks so much for taking the time to come in to listen to this. Please, 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 as what Mike Myers, aka Wayne up there, Wayne Campbell, is doing, please smash that like button, because it really, really does help circulate this. If you know somebody that can benefit from listening to this, even if it's just the last half of it, you guys can timestamp from when I started talking about this particular subject. But please share this around. Let more people see it. Share it to people that you think could benefit from it. And if you're watching this, that somebody showed this to you or told you to check this out, just understand nobody's attacking you personally, but you do need your eyes open. You do need to see where the future, our kids who are our future, where they're heading to, if we continue to allow these things to be the surrogate parent and the babysitter. You're not going to like the end game result. Okay. I appreciate everybody for coming in. It's Mondays, it's a slow Mondays, so I expected it to kind of be just like this, but tomorrow hopefully it'll be better. Like I said, I wing it. I wing all my podcasts, so whatever subject happens, it happens. But if you have an idea, you guys know where to reach me at. Twitter, you guys can reach me on Twitter. You guys can follow me on the Facebook fan page. You guys can message me there, or on Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys can DM me on Instagram. If you guys have any ideas of things you guys want to hear discussed on the podcast, I am open to suggestions, so send me those suggestions. But yeah, that's it. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday, the start of the week. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. Also, shout out to the member squad. Thank you so much for being a member. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And also, shout out to my moderators, hashtag demon. If you are a moderator and you were in here holding it down, really appreciate you guys for doing that. Thank you so much for checking out today's podcast. You also can find it on audio podcast sources such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Breaker, Spotify. It's all on there. The audio version will be up today. The replay of this will be available whenever YouTube processes it, which usually takes like a whole day since it's only an hour. But yeah, that's it for right now, guys. Thanks so much for watching. As always, aloha. Have a great day.